everyone, welcome back to Build God, and it's another crazy week. A little crazier than last week, but still pretty crazy. Alright, so I'm Buster Green. Please subscribe to my channel. I only need 400 subscribers and I will be getting paid for doing this. Anyway, so this time around we have another crazy Sokai event, and this time it's between two suits that I completely was not expecting, because I thought they'd scraped up the last of the Gundam Unicorn MSs by now, but I was wrong. So, let's start with the more expected of the two, the Kashatriya Repair. Okay, honestly, I should have been expecting this one. Now, the suit is not that popular. I think it just looks like the original Kashatriya, but they junked it up. It's got a peg leg, it's got one arm. It's pretty goofy. But they did release it as an HG model back in the day. And, you know, that kind of almost makes me contemplate that they came up with it just to sell the kit. But personal side note, I always wanted an HGUC of the original Kashatriya. I just never had the money for it. Anyhow, so despite the lack of interest, I did 2 pulls on this thing and surprisingly walked away with about half of it because it only has 4 pieces and it has no weapons. But meanwhile, on the other side of the fence, we have the Luminous Crystal Unicorn Gundam. Yet another unicorn variant, and I was not expecting this one at all for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's a suit that only really appears in the context of being the unicorn Gundam when it's dead. And it only shows up for a few seconds at the end of the last episode of Gundam UC. Now, a couple of previous Gundam Unicorn video games have let you use it in a very limited capacity. Usually it shows up as the strongest version of the Unicorn Gundam, but also the least interesting because it basically has no attacks since it's thrown away all its weapons at this point. So I wasn't actually ever expecting it to be added into this game because I never thought there was a model of it. But looking into it, as it turns out, they actually released a model in extremely low quantities as a Gundam-based Japan exclusive. So what do I know? Anyway, so yeah, the model exists, so here it is. And despite it having no moves in the usual video games, in this video game, it is OP as hell. So I did 8 pulls on this thing because I wanted it, and I managed to get 3 copies of the backpack, which is lame, another Beam Magnum, which I feel very satisfied about the number of Beam Magnums I have, the shield, which, like the Beam Magnum, is kind of just the normal Unicorn shield, except in constant NTD mode. And lastly and bestly, I got the freaking arms. I wanted the arms more than anything, so once I finally pulled the arms, that was enough for me. I was done. Anyway, so Haros are on sale this week, but despite that, they are trying so hard to get you to go all in on the Sokais this week. So on top of the usual month-long bonus of the non-Katoki Double Zeta, which I'm so close to completing now, they also went out of their way this week to add a bunch of crazy alternate pilots, like Stella wearing a dress, Seed Mode Shin, and most intriguingly of all, cross-dressing black transgender ladyboy Laura Rolla. Now, I kind of want Laura Rolla because I just think that's funny as hell, but am I going to do another 10 pulls? I mean, I definitely have the Kashatriya half done and the Unicorn half done, but on the other hand, spending that much money, I mean, yeah, I might complete the Crystal Unicorn, but is it really worth it? Because that's just a ridiculous amount of money to waste on this game. Like, maybe if I wasn't trying to go after the ZZ at the same time, but this game is just running too many consistent and continuous money-grubbing events. Just too much at the same time. And plus, besides all that, if I was to try to get all the special pilots and all the double Zeta pieces like they are asking you to, that means spending like $500 just in this week alone. I mean, you'd get all the special stuff, but it's just too much, man. They gotta pace this shit out more. My wallet can't take it anymore. So anyway, I'm fucking broke and I got bills to pay, so I will probably not get my funny cross-dresser. Anyway, so on the bright side this week, there is a new weird story mission where all the adult characters in the game get plastered drunk for Spring Hanabi. The elegant Japanese holiday where you get bombed out drunk under a tree in the spring. Including maybe Rindo, so is she of legal age? That's a mystery. And furthermore, killing two birds with one stone, the weekly event also focuses on the Anchor, a new suit from the currently ongoing Crossbone Ghost Gundam manga. It's basically a weird repair of the Gundam F89 to look a little bit more junked up and a little bit more piratey. So in short, it's an obscure variant of an even more obscure variant. Now, this is not the number one suit I would have picked from Crossbone Ghost myself, but if you had to pick one, even though this is kind of an ugly suit, if you break it down to its individual parts, the individual parts are cool. So you could definitely create yourself a very nice matchup by using the parts of the suit with some of the other suits from the Crossbone Gundam series. Now, that being said, last week I was very pissed off that the game was giving us infinite free energy and there was nothing great in the game to spend it on. This week the event points are back, so if you've been holding on to those energy bursts, please go nuts and milk this event dry. Now's the time to do it, so get out there and do it. Oh, and finally, there's a new friend battle boss. So last week there was a friend battle boss where you fought a melee main. This week it's a shooter main. So I set it up to fight my own shooter, and it was a very fun and very fair fight. Now this bastard can heal, so it took me a while to blow the shit out of it, but it was good times all around. And the last thing I need to bring up this week is that the Satan Gundam is back again. Now this time around, everyone is very fed up with his shit, so as long as you have a decent team of like-minded individuals, you can come together, kill him, he'll die. So that's the week in Gundam Breaker. Not the best week, but not the worst week either. Like, a lot of fun stuff going on. It's just, again, Bandai is trying very, very hard to get you to spend $500 on this game, and I'm kind of not having it. All the same though, good times all around, so I'm still here. Alright, thanks guys. Catch me next week. Later.